So today's Lunch Bites is about video editing and recording. I can't remember the exact words. I think I said, yeah, video editing and sharing is what I titled this. And we are going to talk about two different ways that we can do screen recording or just regular recording and sharing it all within the internet. We don't have to download anything. It can be uploaded straight to my Neoshow or send a link. And then we're going to talk about how we can use Zoom recordings, and we can either send those straight to YouTube or from the download, or we can use Camtasia to edit them. And then we'll really dive into Camtasia and all the different things that we can do with Camtasia. So the first software, I talked about this in a Lunch Bites back in 2020, I believe. And it's a software that is called, let me share my screen, Screencast-O-Matic. Has anybody ever heard of Screencast-O-Matic? No, yes, no.
I remember hearing about it, but I've not used it.
Okay. So what I love about Screencast-O-Matic is it's simple, but the most important part is it's free. I love free things. You can screen record. You can just record with the video. You can do both, screen record with the video inset. You can upload videos that you have on your computer. And then what I like about it is that you can either share the link for people to watch it or the embed code, just kind of like YouTube. It's just a different platform than YouTube. So here I have all of my videos that I've recorded. And so it houses your videos, which is nice since you can go back and view them. I believe if you click on it, it will let you still edit anything you need to edit. The editing is very, very minimal. So you can, I believe, trim it to make it smaller, but you can't really do any slicing and dicing. So if there's any that you need to remove, which is usually my problem, this is going to be a little too basic for that. But for little quick videos, I like to use this for my students. If I want to just send out, like this one's only 2 minutes. I'm just sending out a little update to my students or something like that. I can just record it here, and then I can go to the share button. And I can either just get the link that takes it directly to my students, or I can choose the embed code, which is going to be here, responsive. You can choose all these different options. You can choose captions, autoplay the video, and then you can say whether or not the students can, or the viewers can share, download, or embed the video. I always say no to all of those. And then you just copy this code and put it on any platform that allows embedding, and we'll talk about that in a minute. The nice part about embed codes is that it just automatically shows the video wherever you put it. No clicking, no going away from the screen. It all automatically shows up for the students. So what that looks like is something like this. So it's actually viewable right when they go right to that page. They don't have to click on anything. They don't have to go anywhere. They can click play and watch it from here. Okay. I heard myself and thought someone else was talking. So, yeah.
That means we're really not having to upload anything to my Neoshow. Is that right? Or so this is right. Quicker, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I can actually show you guys real quick how fast this is. This is why I like it, because it is fast. So I would just go up here to launch the recorder. It does have a I already downloaded this, so I don't know why it's wanting me to download again, but it does download a web launch recorder to your computer, so that way it's easier to access. They must have updated or something because I normally already have it downloaded on my computer. Let me move this over here so you can see it, maybe. Why are we thinking so hard? I say it's fast and then it's all jamming up on me. There we go. Can you guys see this? Yeah. So we can do screen record, webcam, or both. I'm going to choose webcam or screen record, actually, just so you can see. You can make it as big or as small. So if you just want to record one little spot, you can do that, or you can record the whole entire screen. You've got the option to choose which microphone you want. If you want your computer audio to play, so if you're recording something that has sound, you need to make sure that's allowed, which maybe on this free, you can't do it with the free. Okay, so you would have to upgrade to do that. But most of the time we're not recording something that has sound, right? So let's just go ahead. You've got this little record button, gives you a little countdown. I'm just going to do a little bit of clicking and whatever in here, and my thing went away, but it's still recording. I just click on this little thing down here, and then let's say that's all I wanted, 15 seconds of something. Okay, I'm going to push pause, and then I'm going to click done if I want to, or I can move this around to another location. Now I'm talking about it up here and continue recording. Okay, now I'm up here, whatever, pause. Now I'm done, okay? So I didn't mean to do that. Click done. This is where you can do a quick share. You can edit it, or you can save and upload. I always do quick share because no matter what, it's going to save it to your, here's quick sharing right here. It's going to save it to that homepage that I showed you guys at the beginning, no matter which one of those you chose. So I always just say, do the quick share. Now my link is already copied for me. I do recommend coming in here and changing this. I'm titling everything testing 1, 2, 3 for my own sake. Just because it automatically assigns it a recording number. So my link is copied. And now I'm going to go into my blog. This is where I'm doing all my testing. This popped up when we were done recording. You guys can see that little guy, right? Okay. I'm going to move it out of the way for right now. I'm going to go to add a new blog, because this is just where I'm putting it. You can put it anywhere. You have the option for embed. Or right now, I guess we just have the link, so I can paste that anywhere. I can also just open a new web page, paste that link, and it's going to show us that video. I'm just going to do a little bit of clicking and whatever in here. Okay, so there's that video. Pretty simple. If I do want to embed, I got ahead of myself. If I do want to embed, I have to go to that home page of mine where my videos are and click on the title of it. Go to share, choose the embed code. So I'm going to copy the code, go back to my blog. I'm doing a lot of clicking, sorry. Embed, paste, save. There's my video. Save. Oops, I forgot to give it a name. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4 this time because I already have a 1, 2, 3. Save, and then it's there. I don't have to download anything. I don't have to upload anything. As long as you're good with your raw material being what goes out there, this is the easiest and fastest way, in my eyes. Like I'm sure there's a bunch of softwares out there, but this is just the one that I've been using for years. And so this is what I always recommend for quick video share or quick screen sharing. Does anybody have any questions about that or anything?
Maggie, it looks like this has a little bit more that you can do than with My Neosho, what it offers. And I know that one's capped at 5 minutes. Does this one have a time limit?
Actually, I do think it does. I think it is 5 minutes or 15 minutes. I would have to do a little research. I've only ever used this for quick things. I've not used it for a full lecture or a full meeting or anything. But I do think there's a cap. Something's telling me 15 though, instead of
Yeah,
5.
I thought I saw when you were giving an example 15 minutes somewhere, but it looked like maybe that was changeable. So I didn't know if
Yeah, I'll have to do a little research on that one. The difference between this and what we have in My Neosho, because what we have in My Neosho is still amazing. Do not get me wrong. I still love it. It's awesome. Mainly because the students can use it so easily. The difference here is that we can do a screen share. On the My Neosho piece, we can't do a screen share. So this is going to be more of a level up on what you need to do, or if it needs to be longer than 5 minutes. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up, because I do not want to discount what our audio and video features can offer on My Neosho, because it's really handy. But this can be used across the board. This can be sent out in emails as a link and stuff like that. So that's what I think.
For grading, or know of anybody that uses it for grading? Because I kind of see it as that, like if they're doing a writing sample or something, you could highlight and show what you're talking about rather than just a recorded video.
Yeah, and what I like too is that, I don't know if you can see it on there, when you click or anything while you're recording, it has a little yellow circle. So it's nice that it's easy to follow for any kind of step-by-step stuff for me as a computer teacher. But for people that are doing reading and stuff like that, or English papers, I know that a lot of people at Fort Hays like to go through papers with their students, and they use this so that way they can literally point out what they are doing. I think they use another software to highlight or annotate. I'd have to look into it a little bit more on whether or not you can annotate on the screen. I'm sure you can. But yeah, I mean, then you just send the link and the student can see the paper or the project or whatever as the instructor is narrating over the top of it. And you don't have to download or upload anything. So that's the part that I love the most about this one. Any other questions about Screencast-O-Matic? No? Okay. The next one is something that we're working on. And so this is just a little taste, and we have another lunch bites on this, but Canva Pro, which I know we're working on getting Pro for everyone, or not, maybe not for everyone, but if you request it, we can kind of figure out how to make it cheaper for the department. But you can do screen recordings or video recordings and stuff right in Canva. And what I love about this one that's different than Screencast-O-Matic is that it's real time. So if I make this recording, so I did a screen recording for my students because they were struggling with figuring out some stuff. And I was like, oh, I need a quick way to help them. And I want to see if I can keep adding stuff to it, or I wanted to edit it because I could tell that I wasn't going to be sure where I was clicking, if it was right or not. And so I needed to be able to like cut different things out of the middle of it and then have it all sandwiched together without having to download anything, without having to upload anything. And then that way I could just share with them the link. So this works very similar with the whole screen recording piece. You can also you can record yourself at the same time. But what I love is that now, so you can tell this is put on kind of a, it's like a slide maybe, this white background here. You can change that, change the color of it if you want it to be gray, whatever, if you want to add any kind of elements, text. So let's say it's just plain like this, and this is how I sent it out to my students. And I'm not going to mess with it too much because, again, I did send it out to my students so they can click on it and see this. And like I said, it's real time, so I don't want to mess it up too much. But let me get back to where it was. Okay, so it's right here. If I want to add some, let's say NC, or this is CSIS 191, helps if I can type. And I'm going to put it up here just for fun. And then I come over here to my homepage and I refresh it. It automatically updates with whatever I put there. So what I like about this is it is something that you can update real time. Students, the next time they see it, they're going to see it, see this new piece. Is that necessary? Probably not. I just think it's really cool. I think it's really cool that if I wanted to add a new recorded piece, I should be able to come in here, videos, go to, maybe I need to record yourself. So right now my little pin drop is in the middle of it. So I would want to move that all the way to the end or the beginning, I guess. You can also add a new page, or I should be able to just start recording from here. Oh, I'm recording myself. That's not what I want to do. Oh, it's not going to let me do anything because I'm recording Zoom right now. So I wouldn't be able to turn on that stuff. But you can add a new page, and this is where, this is where the Canva piece comes in, and you don't want to dive too deep today because we're going to go over some of this when Kathy Gordon does her little lunch bites. But you can just add a completely new page. So let's say you want to do daily journals, or you have weekly updates. I think this would be awesome for weekly updates for your students, for faculty, for any kind of committee or anything. It'd be really cool to have a live working page. You only have one link to worry about. Anytime you add new things, it just updates automatically for the viewers. And so that piece is an additional step to the Screencast-O-Matic. You just have the video for the screencast. This one is like a presentation that has video in it, and can be shared, or like I did on my class page, this is embedded. So it can be a link or it can be embedded. Super easy to use, super easy to share. Let me get back to the beginning here. Let me see, that's what I thought. You can make the video small, you can make it big or small, and then add whatever you want to. Like if you wanted to have words over here, but this was still a video, that is awesome. So that way, some people have, oh, there's Marie. Some people want to have notes that go along with the video. And again, this is real time. So if I go back over here and I refresh this page, it's going to look just like it looks in Canva. And I can add notes however I need. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Sorry, Maggie.
Good.
Is this like a slide presentation that, so when they get to the end of the first slide, they're going to advance, or are they watching a continual video all the way through? What's the experience? Sure,
let's just push play. Hey everyone, it's CSIS 191. It's Miller. I'm noticing that a lot of you are missing grades in the grade book. Hold on, let me get to a place that is where it's moving. Okay, So see, the video is going, but everything on the right side is still there.
Sign up for this week and then choose the use the windows.
So the video is in the presentation. So it's on a slide. And this over here on the right side is going to stay the same until you get to that very last where I added a slide. Count back here. So at the very end, if I wanted to add another video, which I don't want to do too much again, because not that my students are looking at this now, but when they click on the link, they would see these extra slides. But if I go back over here and I fast forward this to closer to the end. Oh, I needed to refresh, silly me. It added that next slide, which has that extra video on it. Does that kind of answer your question, Steve?
Yeah, how does it know, like, can you have a fixed slide or is it always video?
Oh yeah, no, so like having just something on this last slide, I could put text on here. Is that what you're asking? Like if there could be a slide that's just.
Yeah, and with, because the video, it looks like the video is going to play continuously till the end.
Uh-huh.
So if you have a slide like this, it's just something to look at. How long is that going to be there?
So you can tell it how long you want it to be there, I believe. So right here, it says it's going to be on the screen for 5 seconds. And you can tell it to be on there however long you want it. And I believe if you wanted to, this could go anywhere within. So if I wanted to insert this somewhere in my video, I would come to this spot in the video and I would split. So I right clicked right then. I'm sure there's another place for me to be able to do that, but I haven't messed with this as much. But if I right click and then I click split, I could put something like this, oops, in the middle. And then it's gonna play it for however long in the middle of that video. There we are. Push play.
Using the launch the tool option.
There's that little piece, and then it will go back to the video. It just depends on where you put it.
Good, thanks.
Yeah, that's a great question, because honestly, I had never done that before. And I was going to go ahead and take this off and stretch this back out just in case my students happen to go back to refer to this. I don't want them to be too confused. Less confusion. Is better. Okay. So again, if I go to this home page and I refresh, it's back to its normal view. Any questions about other features that have to do with that screen sharing and recording? I know I didn't show you how to do that piece. Again, I didn't want to step on any or go too deep with what Kathy might be doing in a couple of weeks. I just wanted to show you what it could do. We have the share link to watch, and we also have the embed option. And obviously you can download, but the embed option is always going to look like this with the greater than, less than symbols. When you click on that, then you have the different options for embedding. copy it there, and then you're able to go over wherever you're wanting to embed it, or you can just take the link. So that's pretty cool. I was pretty excited to share that with you guys. Does anybody have any questions about those two before we move on to Zoom and Camtasia? No? Okay. Great. So Zoom, I will say that Marie and I recorded our JAM, Jinzabar annual meeting presentation via Zoom, and then edited it in Camtasia. So we had a lot of screen time with Zoom and figuring out how to use it for recording and presentations. So it's pretty simple. I like the way that you can record, pause, and download, or I always recommend downloading to the cloud. So you don't have to download anything unless you want to download it. And figuring out how to share a PowerPoint where it's going to record just the PowerPoint and not your Zoom window, so you can kind of check yourself, see where you should be looking when you're doing a presentation, because when you're doing a presentation for a big conference like that, you clearly don't want to be looking over this way while you're talking. You want to be looking at the people you're presenting to. So I put together, I had this little example. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but it just kind of shows in recording the different ways that you can put lay out your screen sharing in your video, because that this is something you're going to be sharing forward. This is just a recording. This isn't necessarily just a meeting like we're doing right here, where the whole thing is going to be shared. Let me see if I can show. So I'm going to actually I'm going to mute myself because we don't need to hear it. I have examples of, so this is what happens when you've got your PowerPoint and you want to make sure you're looking in the right direction, but you've got your whole entire screen shared instead of just the PowerPoint. So now you can see the bottom taskbar, you can see anything that goes over the top of the PowerPoint. And because down here you can see your taskbar. So if you have your email open, it's always going to light up with the new email whenever you get a new email. And so that's less editing on the Camtasia side if you have all of this off of there. So if you choose to do a PowerPoint, if you choose just the PowerPoint when you're screen sharing, it will look like this. And right now, I still have my little window of myself where my mouse is up here at the top. So I can see myself. You cannot see my taskbar. And so you're able to do your PowerPoint, still see where you are on your screen and do that kind of view. And you won't be interrupted by anything blinking at the bottom, and it's less editing in that way as well. So that's just a little tip that I recommend if you're recording a PowerPoint. I would recommend just sharing the PowerPoint instead of your entire screen. And because you are doing a Zoom recording, when we pull it off of Zoom, you will still have your little inset video of presentation. So that doesn't need to be on your screen when you're screen recording anyway. Any questions about that part? No? Great. So going back to this page, since I did the screen recording, I have multiple options for what I want to download. I have this shared screen with the speaker view. That's what I'm saying. We'll have a little inset video. You have just the speaker view, which would just be me talking. And then you have just the shared screen, just the audio, and you can download the audio transcript. So most of the time we're wanting to do the shared screen with the speaker view. And so if you click on that, it will download to your computer for you. This little, if I can keep it up there, this little download button will download it to your computer. You can see that it popped up down here for me. You can also grab the link here to share. It does have a passcode, so you will need to give whoever you're sharing it with, your viewers, the passcode. That's just if you're wanting to share everything raw without editing it. That link is perfect for that. So if we're wanting to edit anything, this is the video that we're going to take to Camtasia. The other thing I like about this page is that you can change the name of these recordings here. So if I would have done that before, I believe it would have, well, maybe not necessarily, but for your recordings, it will be nice because you can say what recording this was. So whenever you share it, it's easy to tell what was shared. I believe if you click download here or copy shareable link, that's going to be the download will re-download all of these, not just one of them, and it will be in a zipped file. Copy shareable link, I believe, is the same. I'm not sure. Let me see. So it's going to send it all as one package deal. Yep. Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
So that looked like a new view to me. I've never seen 5 files. So I went in and logged in, and mine only, when I do a recording, only shows me 3 options.
Okay, what are they?
I can look at it. So I have shared screen with speaker view, and then I just have audio only or audio transcript. Is that just a setting that I need to change somewhere?
Were you sharing the whole entire time?
I can't recall on this one. I can check another one.
Sometimes it's because when you started the recording, you were sharing your screen already. So, but that, I don't know why you couldn't separate it out. I might have to look into that a little bit. The
Yeah,
only
I
reason
haven't looked at the settings. I just wondered if there was something that I don't have selected somewhere.
It's a good question. Because you do the more you do in the meeting, the more recording options you'll have. Because I believe, so this one's the same. Let's see. So like, look how many there are here. That's because I actually had a gallery view. There was a bunch of people in that one, or not a bunch, but there were people. And so it gives me that option. So you have different options depending on what is happening during the recording. So I think a little more research, but I think it's maybe it depends on whether or not you were sharing your screen when you clicked record. I think. I'm gonna write that down. Any other questions on this page before we move on? All right, sorry, I was reading a message in the chat. So from here, we can, since I've downloaded it, now I can take it over to Camtasia. So I've got Camtasia open here. I wanted to see if there was a way, I've got extra stuff open here, obviously. this is real-time testing here. Aha. Okay, so I just took it from my download bar over to the media page on Camtasia instead of trying to look it up and add it from a file finder, which most of the time when you do that, it's going to be under your downloads because you downloaded it from Zoom. And before I go too much further, I should probably make sure you guys all know that where I went to find that recording was zoom.us and then the recording section. I completely missed over that. I'm sorry. But yes, this is actually on the web version. It's not on your Zoom client. Okay, so I've got this recording in the media bin and I'm ready to edit it. So I'm going to drag it down and put it on my track. And it goes down as a full package, audio and video in the same track. We can leave it that way or we can separate them. Sometimes I like to separate them because what I just did now, I say a lot. We found out how much we say hummery. It's a lot. And so sometimes it's easier to just go ahead and erase the instead of trying to cut it out of the video. And so what I did was I right-clicked on the media and separate audio and video. And now I have two tracks, an audio track and a video track. Did everybody see that? Does anybody have any questions about that? Okay. So there was an now I get a little self-conscious about it. So within your recording, if you want to take a piece of audio out and you don't want to take a piece of the recording out, you can go to the section that you're wanting to edit. And let's say I just want to take this little piece of audio, which I don't know what it is. Oops, I don't know what I did here. I'm going to zoom into the track a little bit. Let's push play to see what's here.
How you can
Let's see. I'm trying to find a place that I don't want to
share your screen in different ways.
Let's see.
That will record differently.
Let's take out that piece just for fun. It's going to look funny because my mouth is moving, but it at least shows you what's going on here. We want to silence that sound right there. So I should be able to silence the audio just in that section. Okay, so I use these little red and green here. Separated it around the audio I don't want to hear. I use the right click a lot. I'm sure there's another place I can find it. I right click and then I silence audio. Okay, so then if we go ahead and put those guys back together,
Ways. So
like I said, it's going to look funny because my mouth is moving, but at least it shows you I didn't have to cut anything. I'm just silencing that audio, which sometimes is all we need to do is just silence a word or two or an or a okay. So that's a nice piece there, is just silencing the audio.
Maggie?
Yeah.
That's interesting because I have always used the cut and snip and then stitch it back together. And that works fairly easily for me. So it's interesting to see the different ways to do this.
Yeah, and I'm still going to show the snip and stitch because it's good for the combination of the video and the audio piece together. So let's say I want to take that so out all together. I want it all gone. I then, and you know what? I'm sure there are probably 5 different ways to show how to do this. This is just my way of doing it. So do not think that this is the only way. This is just how I've self-taught myself how to do it, and it works for me. So don't think this is the only way. So if you already have a way of doing it, that's absolutely fine too. So I usually use these, the green and red, and then you can come over here and you can click cut, or you can right click and cut. Okay, then smashes them together, takes that little piece out, and I no longer have that weird spot. I mean, it's weird because it's missing a word of whatever I was saying there. But if you're wanting to completely take out, let's say I rolled my eyes a couple funky ways and I don't like the way it looks. I also don't like the that I said or whatever all in one spot. I can remove that whole little section there with the cut. You can also split your tracks. Split all. So now I can move them if I need to. If I want to insert a video there or a slide or an image, I'm splitting it so I can insert something there and then have it in the middle of that. Or sometimes people use markers or lots of different options that can go in between the videos, but that's another way that you can remove things. So if it's a really long section that I don't want to have to use these little markers for, I can do split. So I know that I want the whole first 5 or the whole 5 minutes out of the middle out of there. I know that it starts at 13, so it wouldn't be minutes, it'd be seconds, but whatever. Start at that certain time and go on to wherever I need to go, and then split it over here as well. And then I could take, so this is also the split. This right here, they're the little tiny buttons that are hard to see on the screen, I'm sure. Or you can right click, split all, and then I can remove these by just clicking, delete, delete. And then I don't know why I have so many tracks. It's probably because I was messing around earlier. You can control and click all of and select all of them and move them all back. I'm sure there's probably, Maria, is there a way to move it all back together without having to drag it all the way over here? I don't know that trick, but that got it back up there.
I don't know either, but I also use the magnifier to shrink it down sometimes and then enlarge in. That sometimes helps when it's longer like that.
Yes, we moved it out earlier just to, oops. So I could show the difference in the words there. I use this so much because sometimes your is not a very big section of audio and I just want the So you use these little ridges of the audio. And then when you're trying to get, if it's an hour-long presentation, you're trying to get from one end to the other end, it's a lot easier to minimize and get where you're going. Yes, very good point. Okay. Moving along. This is kind of a speed demon Camtasia overview here. Annotations, something I really like about this, obviously you can put annotations on different sections of the recording. Oops. Lots of oopses here. And tell it how long you want it to be there. So right here, it just put it on this track 5 here. It's going to play for just a couple seconds there, I think. And then it goes away. And then it pops off. Okay, that's pretty simple. You can put it wherever you want. You can make it as long as you want. If you want to make it bigger, smaller. It can have its own transitions, which we'll go over next. You have arrows, shapes. I like this blur and highlight section. The blur section, I like this the most for when I was telling you, you will have more editing if you have your taskbar in the video. You can draw or drag this blur over and we can blur out. Yes, you can go ahead and crop some of that stuff, but it messes with, for me, I prefer to do the blur when I know that it might mess with the way that the whole screen shows later. So I just use this blur in order to blur out what needs to be blurred until it doesn't show anymore. So I can drag that until I don't need it anymore. So like right there, I don't need that bottom bar to be blurred. So I would take it off. Right there. So I'm going to zoom that back down. Right there. So that part is really nice for, let's say you accidentally have an email pop up and you don't want anybody to see that, or any kind of image on your screen that you don't want someone to see in the video. You can use that blur feature and it can stay on as long as you need it to, or be on there the entire time. Then these are all just other options for highlighting certain parts of the video. And then you have, I've never actually dealt with these. These are not something that I've used.
Sharing.
Oh, cool.
Just-
Should start using that more. That's cool. So you can put those wherever you need them to. There, it looks like there's circles, squares, arrows, and it draws like a sketch. And you can
Need to make sure you're sharing. Just
doing the same thing as all the other options where you can make it as long or short as you need. Okay. Transitions, this just makes those things look a little better as they're popping up on the screen. I like to do subtle transitions like fade. That's just going to make things look like they're supposed to be coming up, not.
Or you can share your screen in different ways.
Should fade away instead of just blinking and
My
going away.
preference whenever you're doing
So you just click and drag and put it wherever, whichever track you're wanting it to go to and whichever piece of that track you want it to be attached to. You've got, if something's flying on, if something is going on your screen and you want it to have a, I think that's what this is for, yeah. How it comes onto the screen, I guess it can, the words can do fun things like bouncing and stuff. I wanted to talk about animations, because I use this a lot when I'm doing trainings and stuff. It's great for zooming into certain things. So I want to zoom in on this little piece right here during the presentation, because me talking is more important. That's one that is on the screen. I don't know why I'm choosing that, but that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to zoom in to that right there. Then I'm going to let it play until I'm ready for it to not be a part of the most important part of the presentation.
and I can see myself.
I can see myself.
in-
Okay, yay, I can see myself. Now it's time to bring myself back out. And you can say just actual size if you want, or you can say scale to fit, whichever one you want it to do. And you can see down here, you've got the zooms and then it coming back out of zoom. You can edit if you want them to be further apart. I believe you can also make it a longer transition. I might need to zoom in on that a little bit. Why am I not, there it is. Okay, let's see what it looks like.
You can see that I can see myself, and you can see.
So see how that it was zooming in and then it was zooming out. I think I use that a lot when I'm making my training videos, so that way I can really hone in on a certain topic or image or piece of the presentation. Another awesome feature is the cursor effects. So if you are doing a lot of clicking and moving your cursor for showing what you're doing or where you're going, this is great for that because it will just make it easier to follow. It will go by whatever your mouse was doing in the recording. I think it's a little bit, I think it follows better with screen recordings that you do within Camtasia though, which we unfortunately didn't have time to go over the screen recording piece within Camtasia. But these just the symbols in these pictures or the images in these pictures is exactly what you see whenever the cursor is on the page. So got a ripple or a circle, bullseye, anything like that. You can also make a recording that can go over the top of a video. So let's say I want to scrap my recording altogether. It's bad. Let's try again. So I'm watching the PowerPoint and just narrating over the top of it. You can do that within Camtasia. It makes an actual audio file that is saved to your computer. That is just that audio piece. And then it's added to your media section of Camtasia. And then you can put it on a track down here and do the same thing that I did here with my audio piece. So it would just sit on its own track and you can put it wherever it needs to be. So that's nice if you want to just do, if you already have a video that you want to use, but you want to use different audio, you can do a narrative here on Camtasia. And then I do all of this stuff right within the tracks itself. So if you notice whenever you hover over the audio piece, you can make those louder by moving those up and down if you want, or you can section them out like we were doing with the split option and do just certain areas. Like when Maria and I were making the jam presentation, there were times that I was much louder than she was, and there was times that she was much louder than I was, but we didn't want to have any of that, you know, conflict of sound whenever it was transitioning from one person to another. So I was able to go in and kind of equalize the audio there between the two different tracks. So that was really nice to visually see that and update that. Running out of time, so I want to make sure I have time for some questions before we get to 1 o'clock here. I clearly probably need to do just Camtasia one time, so that way we can do screen recording and dive in a little deeper on all of these options on the left side. Would you guys be up for just a Camtasia by itself? Okay, I can make that happen before the end of the semester, I believe. Does anybody have any questions for this stuff today that I can answer?
I don't have time today, but if we're going to do a Camtasia one in the future, maybe just something to note. One question I had is, so I had taken a video on my phone and then I pulled it into Camtasia and changed the clip speed. And I liked the way that it appeared. There was a lot of movement, but it still looked okay. But when I took that to YouTube, it performed differently. And I don't understand the reason why. So I can show you an example before.
Okay, yeah.
But
that's strange.
I thought it was too, because I liked the way it looked in Camtasia, and then I published it to YouTube and it was a lot choppier.
Okay.
Do we all have access to that, or is that something that has to be downloaded for us?
You should be able to download it to your computer from, wait, I think I went to the wrong page. Technology resources. And then Camtasia. if you just click on the C, you should be able to download that.
Very good, thank you.
Uh-huh. Any other questions? No?
It kind of feels like you need to get in and play a little bit.
Yes, and I will tell you almost all of what I know about Camtasia or any of the things that I've shown you today is self-taught. So I am a firm believer in, you know what you're going in to try and learn. So until you keep clicking and clicking and clicking, you'll find so many things that you didn't even know you could do. And I still do that with all of these. Like I did that today with Canva, with just Steve asking that one little question. So I think you can hit the ground running with just these small tips that, we talked about today. You can go in, and when you find things that maybe we didn't talk about, definitely let me know. I love learning new things that I didn't know about, that I can apply to these trainings too. Okay, well, we're at 1 o'clock, so I've recorded this, so you'll have access to it after today. And please send me any emails with anything that maybe we can go over in Camtasia that you would like to know about, and I can add it to the agenda for the next one. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it.